I was cementing a 3S block for a good customer of ours, and I wanted to show you guys what we did and how we just got it done. So mixed up, what we use is the Moroso hard block filler. I use about 20 ounces of water. You could see, I don't know if you could see in there. Let me get you guys a better light. Hard to really see, but I used probably about half of this, so it's probably about up to here left, and you can see I completely filled this 5S block, so fully filled that up. In a perfect world, this block already got machined. I would have liked to have done it prior to having the block machined, but was in a hurry. This is a billet main cap motor as well, so you can see we got our billet main caps on there. I got this cap that I made real quick from some scrap material here in the shop, and got this funnel that I bought at the auto parts, and basically what I just do is I squeeze the tip just to get it into the water jacket areas, and then from there I just take my time. You got to have patience when you do this, so you don't make a mess. And again, if the block's not machined, it's a little bit more, it's not as crucial, I guess, as when it is when the block is machined already. So here I'm kind of wiping up some concrete that I got, little pieces splattered on the floor, but for the most part, so yeah, unfortunately this will be waste. We can't do anything with this anymore. We'll throw that out. But yeah, just wanted to show you guys how it is when we fully fill a block. So the block was already decked. You could see where the water kind of starting to separate from the actual filler, and looks a little watery. I don't know if you could see it there with the GoPro, but so yeah. And then what I did basically was I got a rag, and I sprayed some WD-40 on it just to kind of clean up the deck of the block, just so you don't have any of that block fill that kind of came out. You could see here where I'm just kind of making sure I don't get any water corrosion on the deck after I filled it all up. So again, the biggest thing is take your time doing it. Don't be in a rush. Basically, when you pour, when it's first filling, so the block is completely empty, you can speed up the pour a little bit more, but even then you can't speed it up too much because the tip is, you know, squished so much being inside of that little cavity there for the water jacket, that you can't just pour a bunch of it in there, because it's just, you know, this is kind of porous. It's sandy, so you just got to take your time, really. So any guys out there that are trying to fill a block, this is basically how we do it. And if we were to half fill a motor, we would basically leave the opening here that's on the front of the 5S block. Let me see if I have another block to show you. So this block's actually upside down, but you can see where the hole is. So you would basically just build a plate halfway and then leave the other opening open. So you would just make a small plate, fill it the same way, you know, through the deck, and then once it starts to come up, you'll see it, and then you just basically got to take your time and stop. You want to even flow also. You want to even fill from front to back. So I like to water it down a little bit more. The instructions call for 12 to 24 ounces of water, so I go about 20 to 22 just so I can get a good run, and it'll start, you know, basically I'll start here in the back, I'll fill, you'll start to see it run down, and sometimes it won't make it to the other side. So what I'll do is I'll get a mallet also, and I'll just kind of tap the block just to get it to feed its way through the cavities and the vapor ports on this. All that's got cement in it, so just again, take your time. I just wanted to show you guys a quick video of that. And yeah, so this will be a full drag setup for a good customer of ours that's going to go on a Starlet. And it didn't have billet caps before. This is actually our old engine out of our original AE86. So originally when I built that car, it had factory main caps, no cement at all. And again, this was back in 2003. 2000 we started racing this, the AE86, with the 3S motor. And we didn't fill and do any of that. We didn't make the power that we make nowadays, so it honestly, it didn't really need it, and the block was strong enough to where it held up, you know. We ran as much as probably 40 pounds of boost back in the day, but that was with a whole different style turbo that just didn't make a bunch of power. So now things change. Turbo technology's come a long way, so you have to make sure the block's capable of supporting the horsepower that the turbos can produce nowadays, plus everything else that we got, you know, going on with all the ECUs and, you know, things we just learned over the years. So yeah, so basically this setup, this particular setup, so the new setup, it's gonna have, you know, a new style piston, basically, because the old stuff that was in it, this was the old piston that was in it. It was an old Arius piston, and it was a good piston. I mean, it held up, but look at that wrist pin that was in there. Not very big, had an aluminum rod, and again, it's been in there since 2000, so it was to the point where I basically told the customer, look, if we're gonna put new rings in this thing, upgrade the wrist pin. The piston itself isn't designed really to handle the horsepower we want to get out of it. So let me see if I could hold this here for you and give you guys a difference in the strength of the piston. So basically here, it's hard to tell, but here, these two here, you can't really tell, but there's a lot more material in the pin boss area, and the piston itself just has way more material to support the power that we want to make nowadays. Again, Trom pistons, of course, that's all we use. And then we're gonna go to a Crower rod now. So a Crower steel rod, only because we don't plan on making, like, you know, oodles of power. We're gonna make probably, I don't know, 9, maybe 1,000 if we can. So the Crower rod should be plenty for that. The aluminum, I didn't want to go back with the aluminum rod because of reliability and longevity and maintenance. So I just told them, look, let's put a steel rod in it, good piston, big wrist pin, and this thing should, you know, should live at that power level for a very long time, where you don't have to worry about changing the connecting rod, or how long it's going to fatigue and basically let itself go. So forget the aluminum rod. Like I said, just built, you know, put a fresh new bore in this thing. Since we got a new piston, we went probably 5 thousandths over from what this used to be, just to get a nice new clean bore in there, a new hone. So just cemented the block anyways, again, just to make it more reliable. Why not, you know? So new rods, new pistons, fully filled block. Didn't have main caps before, now it does. So basically all this is just good insurance for it. You know, that's what I really wanted to do. Just make sure it could stay together and be reliable and just have fun with it and race. So that was really the point to it all, you know. So yeah, I just wanted to put together a fast video for you guys. And, you know, nothing to it. Patience is the biggest thing about it. You got to take your time when you're doing it, again, so you don't make a mess. You can make a mess if the block wasn't machined. So I have another block over there that's for our personal drag car that hasn't been machined yet. They did line bore it for main caps, but that one I'll fill, take my time, and if it makes a mess and pours over everywhere, it doesn't matter because it's going to go off to the machine shop anyways. So that's not too big of a deal. And what I'll do is I'll put together a video when I go to do that block, so you guys can see it from beginning to end and just give you a better understanding of how we do it. But figure I wanted to show you now, just to give you a heads up on how we cement the blocks. Okay, and here is the finished product after we cemented it and the cement cured, and we actually painted it, repainted the block red now, so it was orange before. And you can see here where I pulled that plug out, that plate that I had made, and you can see the cement cured and the whole water jacket is filled. So to give you an idea, you know, so not too hard to do. Just takes time, like I said, especially since this motor was already machined, but it's ready for assembly now. So I will check clearances and get the crank in there, and we have everything for it to get it all back together. So I will shoot footage on this as well as we start to assemble it. All right, guys, stay tuned for more up and coming videos, man. I'm trying to get these things out once a week if I can. Talk to you later. Bye.